Well, hello there. How are you doing today? I hope you've had a good Monday to kick off your week. Mine was busy, and the weekend was busy with me writing busily. How many times can I use busy? Um, the presentation that I will be giving next month. Still working on it, trying to get so much in it, and don't feel like I'll ever be able to get everything that I really want in it, but doing what I can. And, if I can't get it all in there, well, I guess I can just, make one great big huge long blog about it or something. I mean, there's always that option now, isn't there? Hello there, Violet. How are you doing? Thanks so much for those beautiful pink hands that are waving. I appreciate it so very much. Hey, Go, how are you? Good to see you, as always. Nev, nice to see you. Very nice to see you. And I see there's Rajis. Thank you so much for the lovely pink hands wavings. And also from, I'm not sure if I'm going to say it correctly, Senal. Thank you very much for joining. And Miss, thank you for joining. It's April Fool's Day here already. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's not. I had to take back a pair of shoes that I was hoping I was really going to like. Do you ever have that happen? Like you think, oh, these are really going to work out? Well, like whatever, I don't know what you call it, I guess the footbed, whatever you put your foot in on. When I got them, I like walked around in them just within the house. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get used to this. And I'm not going to be wearing socks with these all the time. There is absolutely no way. So back they went. Hello there, Mr. Level. You're getting home from the office. Well, I hope that you are driving safely. If you're driving, just always please be careful. So today I did post up that the the website, the Onpassive website, wasn't working, which it had been directed to the OES. Now, something like that, when you get this sort of message, which absolutely forget what I got to look at and see what it exactly said, because I was like busy doing other things today and hadn't looked at what that message was. And I don't know if you guys saw it on my community tab or not. But if you didn't, I'll be telling you what it said. Where is it? Good Lordy. Is it this? No, it's not that. Maybe did I not put it in here? Oh, you know what? I know where I have it. I know where I have it. Oh, the account has been suspended. Okay, that's what it says. The account has been suspended. Hey, Miss Lulu. How are you, lovely? Which that doesn't necessarily mean that, the provider shut it down. It could be. Or it could be that the owner of it, which I had not looked it up, and I was trying to make sure that I did have a chance to look that up. But, better late than never, right? Because sometimes, domains go away and get researched. Okay, so, and I don't see who the owner is, but it is taken. However, it can be bought for a measly $119.99. So I'm just really kind of wondering who owns that, because I would think, that Mr. Man would be expecting a lot more money from it than that. Anyone? Kind of, just interesting looking at those things. Okay, so there's that. So, I mean, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that, the service was just cut off. I mean, it could be. It could be something related to the case. It could be something completely different at all. Now, I do know there's supposed to be some, big announcement coming tomorrow. Like they're going to relaunch tomorrow. But, if you don't have that website, I'm not saying that they do or they don't, but, let's just go ahead and pretend as if they don't. Then, what are you going to show up as? I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying, what if? What are you going to show up as? Are you going to show up as something completely new? Is it going to be something that we might expect? Is it going to be something completely different? I mean, I'm sure that, everybody, when I say everybody, you know, of course, those that are ever so close to Mr. Man are going to be like, "Ugh, but we know, when something looks like it's wrong, it's really not, because that always means that something big, something great is coming." So, I mean, okay, we've heard that before. And allegedly, people are being given directions on how to collect their commissions, which, again, we'll see if that does play out or if it doesn't play out, or if that is just something to drum up interest or something, just basically to see how many people are still interested and are still hoping for that. I mean, a bunch of different things. So I'm not throwing all of my eggs in the basket and saying it's one thing and it's not this. I'm just saying it's interesting just to see what will it be or will it not be? Because there's always that. So today, what I'm going to share with you guys, they think it'll all be a magnificent, absolutely go. Absolutely. Um, they think that, I mean, sorry, I got distracted here. And I'm like thinking and talking at the same time, which can be dangerous. So something was shared with me. And when it was shared with me, it's like, oh gosh, these are the stories that break my heart. Because, as I'm also preparing for what I will be delivering next month in my presentation, I do think about the damage of relationships, be it with friends, be it with family, and how these alleged opportunities seem to leave so much debris, in the wasteland. And the sad thing is that those who are still enamored by the illusion and still believe in it, what they're really missing out on are actual people who truly care about them and not this pretend family that they have going online. They were all sisters and brothers. All had the same vision. We caught the vision. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to put it on screen because I'm not putting anybody on blast. It's going to be private, and some people may recognize it, some people may not. And it really doesn't matter the names behind it. What matters is that this is but one small, tiny little story within the overall problem that we have watched unfold for many years. And beyond that, it's the overall problem overall that we know that these other opportunities worldwide continue to cause. And again, that's really what, breaks my heart. And it's also the reason I continue to do the work that I do, whether I'm putting out content daily, whether I'm popping on once a week, no matter what I'm doing, I'm still out there and I'm still a consumer advocate. And I'm always going to stand up and say when I think something is wrong, when I think there is a problem, especially when it's dealing with multi-level marketing, when it's dealing with alleged businesses offering an alleged opportunity. Okay, so I guess I should start reading to you, huh? And Violet, you're right. The Onpassive hurricane. And it's like one that is like circling the globe, you know? There's that too, which also is just so heartbreaking. Okay, this is a conversation. What I'm first going to read is the family member who is fed up with their family member. In this case, it is a father-son dynamic. The father is the one who is in Onpassive and has been since 2018. The son is just fed up, and I most certainly can not blame him. So let me go ahead and read it. I'm not going to allow this fraud of an organization or my dad continue to mislead more people to delusions of grandeur. There's plenty of evidence pointing to Mufareh being a serial con artist with previous ventures, Telex Free, Max, Onpassive, taking advantage of the less fortunate with promises of riches beyond their wildest dreams, etc. I've had an ongoing battle with my dad since he first started with Onpassive and explained that is always going to be big news next month. And this is an obvious scam. But no, we're now 7 years, multiple fights and arguments later, and not a single penny to show for it. He's driven away his family, friends, and support system in AA over badgering them relentlessly about his miracle business, and then lashing out at them when they point out inconsistencies. Hey, Albs. He is currently attempting to take out a line of credit using was our house in hopes of Onpassive bailing him out. So now, do I sit here in silence as he plunges our family into more debt? Sure, I can. Am I wrong for drawing a boundary here? Do I let him lose everything, including me? Not sure what kind of help I'm asking for here, honestly, besides me screaming into the void. Has anyone dealt with something like this? Fucking help me, please. So just let that sink in, because that is a family member who is desperate to save someone they love, their father, and not knowing what to do. And I'm sure there are many, many, many more families at this point as well. So now, here's the conversation afterwards. And I will say that underneath this individual's post from the people he knows, he was given much love and so much support and care about him. And I'm very happy that he did receive that. And I know that that is still not going to heal his heart or his mind, because he's still watching this and continuing to see it unfold and knowing that there's nothing he can do. Hey, Ellen. Seen your post. I'm here to help if I can. Let me know. It sounds like dealing with family that are addicted to something. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? people are addicted to Onpassive. It's very much an addiction. It's like any abusive relationship, whether it is narcissistic abuse, whether it's a cult, whatever it is, it's that same sort of maybe this time, and you're hoping. And then the wheel goes around on the merry-go-round, and you're just right back where you started from at the beginning. It doesn't change. You're seeing the same exact pattern each time you pass. And that's what's really heartbreaking. Because this individual already said, 7 years into it, about the many fights they've had. So he knows. It's not like, well, it's all going to get better. He already knows. But he's still pleading that maybe this time, just maybe now, maybe. Okay, again, the whole senior post, basically let me know. I appreciate that. I could use help with researching for any photos that display my Larson syndrome and any records you might have. My first goal is organization of my records. That's something else is this individual has, I don't know if it's a disease or exactly what it's called. I didn't look it up, but Larson syndrome. I'm really not sure because my focus was on the story. I'm going to Heartland hopefully sometime today or tomorrow to see about possible courses or certifications I might be able to get concerning advocacy careers. Then I'll probably reach out to SOAR or the Special Olympics Association about either volunteer work or a possible job. Hey, Sherry. Then I'm really going to crack down on getting my license. I need to be mobile. These are all the things. I know our relationship has been rocky as of late, but I believe that something big is happening in my life, and it'd be nice if y'all could join me. But I'm drawing a very hard line about Onpassive's involvement. I don't care how much you might think it will help my cause. I strongly disagree, and this simply will not work if you try to push it. Well, thanks. Okay, and then some time went by because, wow. So this all started on Thursday. The father's response was at 1:27, and then responded several hours because I'm sure he probably was asleep or whatever. And then I guess the next day at 1:57 a.m., as it was radio silence from Dad after he sent all of that and said hardline about Onpassive. Well, thanks for saying the most by saying anything back and leaving me on red for over 20 hours now. Your silence, while still maintaining your own online presence for those 20 hours, is damn near unforgivable, considering the content of my messages. I really don't know what else to say to you besides fuck your online cult and fuck Ash Mufareh for what he has done to you. He is unforgivable. Then, about 30 minutes or so later, it's real simple. You want to fight. I don't. You may want to see someone about that rage. Now, meanwhile, this is a son saying how, he needs help with mobility because of the things that he wants to do with his life and, what he's seeing in his future and looking for volunteer work, maybe possibly getting a certification, and just basically saying, don't push your Onpassive bullshit on me. I'm done with that. And instead of a father lovingly just going, okay, I get it. Okay, won't. How can I help? No, no. He is just you just want to fight. I don't think that's what he's wanting to do. I think he's at a breaking point. I also think he's looking for help for how he's trying to move on with his life for something that seems, pretty noble. 20 plus hours for me to have to ask for a response, then less than 45 minutes to come to the defense of Mufareh. But you're right. I suppose being left on red for an entire day has left me a little feisty. Take a step back and look at what you're doing, please. I'd also like to point out that you could have just easily ignored what I said about Onpassive, what I said, and continued to offer assistance on anything I asked, but you didn't. That gives me the impression that you're only willing to help me if I acknowledge the validity of Onpassive and respect Ash. And then about an hour and a half goes by. It seems like you're the one who just wants to fight. Someone who has done what you're doing should feel lucky I respond at all, says the father. It's called thinking about your response. You should try it sometime. And it ends there. Now, how do you think that made this son feel? A son with Larson's, a son that is unable to, get around the way that he would like to get around. And said it beautifully. You could have ignored what I said about Onpassive and just, help me out with what I need help with. But you didn't. Exactly, Violet. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. It's despicable. It's absolutely despicable. But again, this is not the only family drama. This is not the only family member hurting for his family member. In the case, maybe another parent, other parents out there where their grown children are like, stop the madness. And their mother, maybe their aunt or uncle, whoever that is within their family, maybe sister or brother, they're basically like, I'm bother with you because, really something big has come. You just can't see it. You just haven't caught the vision. How could you possibly ignore this? Haven't you heard from the great one? I shared it with you. How could you doubt? Well, gee, maybe because, as long as we've been on this little merry-go-round, it hasn't changed and you've not received anything. Maybe it's that. So that, my friends, is the story time I wanted to share with you. And this isn't a long one. This isn't, let's sit here for forever and a day and dissect it and all that. It's just an example of what happens when people continue to believe in something that is made up of an illusion. But there's like pseudo facts. It's like sort of something that, well, just maybe there's hope. That's what they get you on, is hope. Just like in an abusive relationship where you're just like, well, maybe this time it'll be different. Just maybe. I think about my stepfather and who was abusive. And it was always just, in my head, like, maybe it'll be different. Maybe he won't do X, Y, and Z. He'll actually love me the way that a father should. He never did. Never did. And the very last thing he said to me was he called me a bitch. And I turned around and looked at that man who had given me hell my entire life, just about. And I just said, well, at least my mother will be buried next to the man she really loved. And I walked off. Never saw him again. And I'm glad. Because I broke the spell. I broke the power that he held over me, even as an adult. And I just let him to sit there and stew and think about that. And then he knew to me and couldn't control me. And that's what I want people connected in Onpassive to do, or any of these organizations that are a cult or cult-like, is to break the spell, to break it for themselves, to find their voice, to find their inner strength, not be shut down when someone tells you, unless you see it in the OES or hear it from Ash, then ignore it. When you're told things like that, that's exactly when you should go dig, and dig deep, and keep digging. Doing all of that for yourself. But it takes a long time sometimes to get to that point. And some people never do. Because one of the things is many people, and I will say I'm speaking mostly of people who are here in the US or in Canada, I guess in North America. I mean, I'm not including Mexico, but because we have a lot of people that have been on panel and stuff from the US and Canada. That is something I wish they could do, is open their eyes and see it for what it is. Because it's not shameful to go, wow, I was wrong. It's not all that in a bag of chips. It's not built on anything. It's built on what? Grandstanding, trying to look like you're the smartest man in the room, trying to look like you are the savior, not just to these people, but to the entire world. I mean, some very disproportionate type claims that this man puts out there and has put out there for a very, very long time. And I really, really want them to be able to realize that they deserve more than what they've received, because they most certainly have given way too much to someone who has done nothing but led them on. And they're not foolish per se in the way that, other people might be like, oh, they're just stupid. They're just, a bunch of fools. No, they gave their hearts. They believe. And there's nothing wrong with having that hope and having belief in something. But it's really hard to reconcile that what you're going through is abusive until you start noticing, connecting the dots, and recognizing, gee, that doesn't align up. That doesn't sound right. I don't remember that. Hun, didn't he say this? That never happened. But instead, you're shut down. Where's the empathy? Where's the care? Where is the love shown that they're supposed to have for everyone when they have to try to control so much? And that's what my stepfather did to me. It was all about control. Any type of an abusive type dynamic, it's about control. And usually that person who is seeking all that control is really not in control at all. They only feed on other people, admiring them, placing them on that pedestal, worshiping them. That's what they crave. And that's the power over others, where they can be knocked down and made to feel like they're foolish for looking at anything else, or they're thinking of leaving. They're thinking of saying, this is wrong. This doesn't sound right. When you shut down critical thinking, when you shut down allowing anybody to question anything, because they've been living in an altered reality, one that's been fed to them again and again. And just because they don't want to take another spoonful of it doesn't make them weak. It makes them strong, because that means they're beginning to realize it was always a dream. Well, everyone, that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Thank you very much for those of you participating in the chat. I always appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And also, thumbing up the stream and leaving a comment so it gets back out there. All those, YouTubey things, do that. And Chalupa and Little Miss, they're curled up here. She's in the fluffy blanket and he's curled up next to the fluffy blanket. And I've got my heating pad died over the weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, I need my heating pad. I've got a brand new one on. So anyway, don't forget, you're beautiful and I love you. Until next time, be good, everyone, and be safe, and take care of those you love and that love you.